Well, it's rare that an ESEE knives design doesn't connect with me right out of the gate, but I gotta tell you guys, I'm not impressed with this particular design of the ESEE CHURP, designed by ESEE, but then released and produced by Blue Ridge Knives. That's what we have here today. I just kind of bought it on a whim, didn't even know it was released. Apparently, from what I understand, ESEE wasn't really even aware that the Blue Ridge Knives was going to release the design under their name. You know, from what I understand, ESEE designed it, the guys at ESEE, and then apparently something with contracts and stuff allowed Blue Ridge Knives to produce this tool. And I gotta say, it looked interesting, intriguing. I was like, man, for like, they usually fluctuates between $20 and $30. D2 steel, you know, there is potential there. Micarta handle scales, cool, kind of iconic, classic design. But the execution of the design, it's a flop, and I'm going to show you guys here real quick. Now, the one good aspect to the design is the blade itself. We got a full flat grind, leaf shape, I mean, classic. Very reminiscent of kind of a lot of Swiss Army knives. I think that was probably a little bit of the inspiration there. It's got a 90-degree spine, throws real good sparks. You could get a fire going. I easily was able to do that. The edge geometry is good. Slices well. It was easy for me to make a feather stick, do regular EDC tasks, you know, cutting paracord boxes, you know, cardboard, that type of stuff. And it is D2 steel, so you'll get better edge retention on, say, than you would on, say, like your average Swiss Army knife, you know, and the type of stainless steel that they use. This, you will get better edge retention, and so that's a positive. And the performance is done well. So for a little kind of pocket, either outdoor knife you want to carry around at the campsite just for carving and some whittling, some food prep, or you just kind of like the retro style and, you know, have a nail nick and, you know, those type of aspects to the design, the blade itself and the tool itself does perform. So, I mean, that's a positive. It's a lot more, again, just kind of an execution and this locking mechanism. Now, this is kind of a classic, again, retro style. I know some Swiss Army knives have this style of liner lock right there. It protrudes. It's kind of like a blade design, you know, that you kind of push off to the side and then close and then open up. But what I found was it kind of got in the way for my large size hands, as a ton of you guys know, and you're constantly kind of splitting your finger, and because it's metal, even though it's round and it's not sharp, it was just kind of there all the time. And I knew that this was there, and I was trying to cup it. You get then really close to the edge, and you're kind of coming off of the handle at that point. So I would have preferred actually just a lockback. Like if it just had a lockback design, that probably would have helped a lot. Because also when I would do harder push cuts, like with wood, the tolerances are so loosey-goosey on this, and that's what really one of the big aspects, that the liner lock was jamming over to the side because of the release of pressure as you push down and force down. And it was just, you know, it's sad because the ESEE name, you know, we know quality and amazingness, and again, it's just their design, and then Blue Ridge Knives is producing it, and the execution by BRK is just not there, in my opinion, on this Chirp. So liner lock, not super ergonomic, did the job, but when you put pressure on it, if you actually do hard cuts, it's actually going to kind of jam itself over, and therefore being a nuisance, and just, you don't have a good quality item when that happens. Now, there's stainless steel liners through there. Like I said, you got a nail nick. There is a little bit of the spine protruding that I have been able to kind of, there you go, get in kind of a weird, awkward way. I'm not super good at the like flip overs. I don't know if it was designed that way. That's just kind of the way it is. But I mean, we got massive rock, and I can't get that any tighter. It is really smooth in there, and I want to say I was kind of trying to figure it out. I don't know if it's running on ball bearings, but that's a lot of space right there. That's a big gap in there. It's very smooth, but it's just super wobbly, and I can't tighten it up anymore. On top of, you know, the lock being goofy, all that. Same with the pocket clip. I tightened this sucker down, and it's already starting to shift on me again. So I'd have to do blue Loctite. It is rather large for the style of the pocket knife. It almost goes the entire length of the handle, and so it's pretty big, kind of, you know, obnoxious in that way. It didn't create undue hot spots, but in combination with the protruding lock, it was just kind of weird. and goofy. The micarta was good, had good texture on that aspect, but also the blade is not centered, and again, I can't really seem to get anything working there, so it's all cockeyed off to the side. So it's just a fit and finish, quality control, you know, and maybe you like, maybe you don't, that style of lock where it kind of, the paddle comes up, which can cause some issues with ergonomics from what I have experienced. Now, as I said before, I've seen it anywhere from like $20 to $30. It just fluctuates in there. They got a carbon fiber that's about $45, and then green and tan micarta. But for me, I would much rather, from what I'm seeing here, just stick with a Swiss Army knife for around that same price point. I'll get a couple extra tools. Yes, the steel won't hold its edge quite as long, but the execution on this, I think, is just really lackluster and wouldn't be something I would go run out and purchase. There you go. I was just messing with it, and I can kind of get it like that. So there, anyway, there we go, guys. Just not, I don't know, I would rather stick with a Swiss Army knife. About the same price point. I can get quite a few out there. I'll get a couple extra tools. Yes, D2 will hold its edge a little bit longer, but I'm just not super impressed with the fit and finish and just the execution of this particular ESEE design released through and by Blue Ridge Knives. So I want to hear from you guys. What's your experience? What's your take? What do you think? And is this a style that connects with you? Do you want me to do more knives in this kind of vein and style, like this retro classic, you know, I don't know, old school pen knife, I guess, pocket knife? I want to hear from you guys. Always appreciate you. Check out the other video popping up. I invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber, so you can hear truth darts like this week in, week out over here at the channel. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.